allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Just a reminder that we are live streaming the board meeting this evening. So the green light is on. We are live streaming. We'll just welcome those who are joining us via the web. So we'll start with consent agenda items. If I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. I have a motion by Earl. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Pat. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. So now we'll move down to community non-agenda items. If there's anyone present who would like to speak to an item that is on or not on the board agenda for this evening. Is there anyone present? Hearing none, we'll go on to old business. The first item under old business is Neola.
Asking for approval of the group of Neola policies. This is the second reading.
So, second reading, this is for approval. So do we have a motion to accept the Neola policies that were presented?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mary Lynn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Cheryl. Any discussion? The one item that I emailed about, that got corrected, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
To the packet.
Perfect. Any additional discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Next, we'll go down to programs, teacher evaluation tool approval.
Hi, Cody Robbins is going to be here representing the Teacher Evaluation Committee. We worked together and we had to make some changes due to new legislation. He's just going to share those changes. And he's excited.
Good evening, Cody. I'm just going to share a couple of changes for you. The first one is I'm going to look at is on page 19 of your evaluation rubric. These changes came from the state legislation, and so when we updated this section, this is what we had to look at. It has to deal with the probationary teacher and a professional teacher. Probationary teacher is someone that is 1 to 2 years into their tenure here with us, and also someone who has not received 2 professional summaries of effective and highly effective on their evaluation. The professional teacher is someone that has received 2 effective or highly effective on their evaluation. The final one, I am going to make you jump back just to take, I apologize, on page 14, or it's 15, sorry, it's at the very top. And it states that when an employee is assigned an evaluator at their school, he or she may request a different evaluator other than the one they currently assigned to them if they so choose to complete their evaluation.
And those were the 2 changes we had made this year. The committee probationary, the definition changed. It used to be 3 years and it changed to 2. And that committee, they really want to look at the tool this year and make some changes and some improvements to that tool, update a little bit. So I thank Cody for coming and representing.
That's easy, Cody.
And I would just mention the changes they made were to bring us into compliance with the new legislation. Those were all requirements of new legislation.
So previously, a person couldn't ask for a different evaluator, is that what you're saying?
It is part of the process that they could, after the evaluation, ask for a secondary evaluator. But the new legislation says that they may request. It is very vague on how that approval process, what that looks like, but that is what the new legislation requires.
So this item is being presented for approval, yes?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the school improvement plan with those discussed changes.
So moved.
I have a motion by Travis, a second by Pat. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Next, we'll move down to finance.
Oh,
improvement plan, sorry, then I said that wrong. Did I say that wrong? I believe I did.
That's okay.
Okay, hold on a minute. Let's go back.
Very good.
I want to do that right. So I need to, let's start with we'll entertain a motion to approve the teacher evaluation tool. So we're gonna go back to B1. Sorry, I got those wrong. I'd already flipped my page. So I need a motion to approve the teacher evaluation tool. I have a motion by Travis. Do I have a second? Second by Pat. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. That's on the evaluation tool. Now, we'll move to the school improvement plan.
Yes, and we're asking for approval. I have shared these digitally with you. If you would like a printed copy, I'll be more than happy to get you one. This year, we worked really hard, starting in the spring through our strategic plan and sharing data with everyone we could, and the teams, and over the summer, the teams met individually at each building, going through data and really focusing on what their individual school needs to do to improve. And so I think you'll see that in the plans, and we're just asking for approval.
Okay, so for the school improvement plans, I need a motion to accept those.
So moved.
I have a
If
motion.
she's on the right thing this time.
So sorry. I have a motion by Mary Lynn. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Cheryl. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. I'm so sorry. I really got that back. Now we'll go down under finance.
Yes, the one that says budget, if you wouldn't mind throwing that one up, please. There we go. I'm not gonna go through all 21 pages, we'll just highlight the changes on slide number 3. You'll see a change that, the first line where it says the 31,575, that went up 360,000 from version 1 because we adjusted our ADM to the more realistic numbers of what we've seen the first couple, 2-3 weeks of school. So that's increased $360,000 to 31,575. The next change is going to be on the next slide. The debt service went down slightly. That number was 3117 and some change, but I've got the actual numbers in from the common school loan, so I know what those payments are going to be. I had to estimate before, so I estimated a little high. So we're actually going to be a little lower in what we have to pay in debt service. But keep in mind, this does not include the GEO bond that we're getting ready to sell. So this number will come up before we get to the hearing and the approval and the adoption of the budget. But it came down slightly because of the finalization of the 2 common school loans for the computers. No changes on the rest of them. Slide 11 reflects the same change in the debt service. It's just on there worded another way. No changes on the rest of those. And only last change is on slide 19, where I made the adjustment to the debt service to reflect it properly for the advertisement. Any questions on the budget?
So this item is in form only. So
This is the
we'll have
second reading, yes.
Second reading.
Next thing is permission to advertise. I won't be advertising till September 8th, but I'd like just go ahead and get this out of the way instead of waiting for the 7th. And this is, we don't advertise in the paper anymore. This is all done through the website that I have to post it to, and that's a statewide thing. So I'm asking permission to advertise the budget on September 8th.
Entertain a motion to allow Philip to advertise. Motion by Travis. Do I have a second? Second by Chelsea. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Now we'll move down under new business programs. Carrie, we have
Yes, this is an inform. When I presented iLearn and our previous assessment data, IREAD 3 results were still embargoed. They are now available. Thank you, Damon. You next. Go ahead. So this first slide shows spring and summer IREAD results, and it shows a comparison between us and the state wide average. Our total passing was 77.7% in comparison to the state at 81.9%. This also has some breakdowns. If you take a look at our free and reduced price lunch versus paid meals, we are behind the state average in free and reduced price meals by about 2.5%, but we are above the state average in the paid meals. Then if you take a look at general education, we're right at the state average. Special education, we do see a little bit of a gap, a little bit of lagging behind. Our biggest gap, though, if you take a look in comparison to the state average, is our English language learners. We've talked about that, and as you know, we're already addressing that. We did hire a part-time English language learner teacher to help with that. She's been busy. She's also working hard. She's training some teachers to know what to do specifically in their classrooms to help with that also. And then the comparison between our non-language learners is a little bit, not quite 5%. So that is just third grade spring and summer iRead results. The next slide just gives you a comparison of our schools, and the highlighted is this year's results for each of our elementary. This is still just third grade, and to the left is last year's results. So Brush Creek, Graham Creek, and North Vernon all saw positive. They did see increases in their scores, and the other three obviously saw declines. And kudos to Graham Creek, 100% iRead results. And then this is our first year that our second graders have taken it, and this is just to show what they've done. Once again, Graham Creek, 71% of their second graders did pass. These kiddos who pass will not have to take it again as third graders. So it allows us, to even pinpoint even more of those kiddos who might be behind. And the actual report that the schools will get will show if the kid's on track or if they're behind. So it helps us to really focus in on those kids who are struggling. We have lots of things going on. We already talked about our ELL teacher. Cindy Law is helping at Sand Creek. However, she is giving PD to all of our teachers in the science of reading, and each school's breaking down their own results and focusing on where their weaknesses are to help with this. We realize we do have some areas of improvement. Any questions?
I've got a question about iRead or any of our standardized testing. Do we ever break out the kids that actually are attending? We have attendance problems, obviously. Do we ever break that out with kids who are attending regularly and see how the scores are compared to?
We have in the past. I believe on the new GPS portal, when they update this year's scores, I believe the state's going to do that for us even. We'll be able for the first time to go into the state portal and pull up based on each child, their profile, what their attendance is, their pass rates, and all of these tests, and have one printable paper the principals can share with teachers. So we're looking forward to when this is all unembargoed and they load in the portal, and what we'll have access to that we've had to do by hand in the past. There is a correlation. I can tell you what we've done in the past to check it. There is a clear correlation between student attendance and student achievement. And so we've put a lot of efforts in place this year to increase attendance. I hope you're seeing it. I hope everyone's in town is seeing it. From the high school level to the elementary level, we're talking about how being at school makes a difference in your achievement at school and in your future. So it's really important to get our kids here and get a positive pattern of attendance.
It never seems fair that they base it on kids who don't come to school also. I mean, we can't control that factor, obviously.
But yeah, they do not take that into account.
Any other questions for Carrie or Nikki? I think that item wasn't in form. So now we'll move down under professional staff, have a couple of recommendations.
Yes, asking that both Mike Green and Chris Thurston as Jennings County School Safety Coordinators be allowed to have up to 5 additional days added to their contract.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Earl, do I have a second? Second by Pat, any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Next, under support staff, we have a whole list of recommendations.
There's a few. Asking that Dorothy Daughtery be approved as a JCEC testing proctor. Alexander Gabbard be approved as a middle school custodian second shift. Paula George as a Brush Creek Elementary parapro. Cheyenne Hammond as a Sand Creek Elementary parapro. Addie Lamb also as a Sand Creek Elementary parapro. Keisha Little to serve as a Jennings County Schools floating bus aide, and this will be on a full-time basis. Jeremy Ludeman as a middle school custodian, second shift. Julie Norton, MBE custodian, second shift. Catherine Schrader at, forgive me, I don't know if it's Schrader or Schroeder on that one, I need to ask, is being asked to be hired as a Sand Creek Elementary parapro. Rhonda Smith at Brush Creek Elementary will be serving as an ESSER parapro. Keon Stroke will be serving as a Jennings County Schools floating sub-cook. I'm sorry, I read that incorrectly. She is going to be moving from a Jennings County Schools floating sub-cook to staying at Brush Creek Elementary as a cook. And then finally, we're asking that Ben Thomas be approved as the Jennings County High School Auditorium Lighting Director.
Do I have a motion to accept those recommendations? I have a motion by Mary Lynn. Do I have a second? Second by Travis. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Next, we'll go down under finance. We're going to have several donations.
We do. Mike Robbins, Don Coors, $100 to the Brush Creek Student Snacks. Giant Family McGowan's, $150 to the Brush Creek Student Snacks. Hearn Vision, $100 to the Brush Creek Student Snacks. And Gloriana Robbins and Pratt Robbins Real Estate, $100 to the Brush Creek Student Snacks. Also, we have Bealey Family Dentistry, $150 to school supplies for Jennings County Schools. Jennings County Drug and Alcohol Task Force, $1,670.75 to the JCEC Jail Program. An anonymous gift of $300 to the Scipio Elementary Students in Need. Hayden Baptist Church, $1,000 to the Haydens for Hayden Stool Lunches. Monty and Kimberly Polly, $200 to the Jennings County High School Panther Pantry. And the following to the Hope Food Program, Thirsty Goat Entertainment, LLC, $150.75. Joy of Giving, $4,500. Grayford Road Church of God, $225. Decatur Mold, $2,250. Jennings County Community Foundation, $894.86. And Zion Baptist Church, $500. Those last ones were all to the Hope Food Program. Asking permission to accept these donations.
Motion by Pat. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Cheryl. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Next, we'll move down under capital projects, finance,
Yep.
presentation.
We have another one on the board here. There we are. All right. So, next page, please. The timeline for the capital project plan is first presentation, obviously tonight. Request permission to advertise on the 7th, along with the second presentation, if there's any changes, and then we'll advertise on the 8th. We will have the public hearing on the 21st, and then we'll adopt on October 5th. And again, this is no different than the regular budget. This only has to be advertised on Gateway. And we'll also put a link on our website, but nothing in the local paper. Next slide. This shows basically what the estimated projects and costs are. This is derived from our master project list, which has everything that we've had an issue with or it's getting age, and we think it's going to need repaired for the next 8 years. This is the current 3 years. For the bottom 3, the top one is assets that we may or may not need to purchase. We advertise it this way every year. This is basically a culmination of a bus, a maintenance vehicle, a regular vehicle, a mower, and all those updated prices that could, if something happens in 2024, we need to be able to do. Now, the capital projects in general have increased a little bit. Last year, we had about $11 million listed on there. This year, we're about 12.2. That's a combination of reduced amount of projects being done this year because of budget constraints from the ops side and the movement of things the fourth year route into the third year route. So we've had an increase of about $1 million over the 3-year period in these. Is there any questions?
So at this point, this is an inform. Any questions for Philip?
And I will send you all the Excel file that has the complete list and where I've got them bucketed.
Moving on under property, a couple items of surplus.
Yes, we've got, I'm asking for approval for the resolution to dispose of surplus items like we do every fall.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Chelsea, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Travis, any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0.
And with that being said, now I'm asking permission or approval for permission to advertise the sale of the surplus items.
I have a motion to advertise the sale of the surplus items.
So moved.
I have a motion by Pat, do I have a second? Second by Mary Lynn, any discussion?
Where is that sale usually at?
Right out here in the barn.
Okay. And do we have an auction here, or do you sell it?
It's a bid. You just fill out a silent bid form and we open them all up and whoever's got the highest bid gets it.
Good.
All right, so be looking for advertisements, you can come and get your goods. So I have a motion and I have a second. So hearing no other questions, all those in favor? 7-0. Next, under operations, bus replacement plan.
Yep.
Presentation.
Yep. We'll get it up here. Here we are. All right, next slide. This has the exact same calendar as the capital improvement. There's no reason to really read through it. It's got the exact same timing as everything else. Next slide. All right, next slide. This indicates what our cost is going to be, or what we're estimating our cost to be over the next 5 years of the bus program. Currently, we are, in 2024, will be the 4th payment of 5 on the buses we bought in 2022, and it'll be the first payment of 5 for the 2024 buses that you guys, we had the resolution, I forget how long ago it was, to approve buying, I think, 4 sped buses. So that's what that indicates. You'll see it increases in 2026 because we'll make our last payment on the 2022s in 2025, and then there'll be potentially another one because we'll have buses that are crossing that 10-year mark where we lose the warranty and the maintenance starts increasing on them, and the price of the buses are just going through the roof. So I've increased it by also, I think, an extra 2 buses because we're trying to gear up for the potential of taking back some routes that may have to happen if some people just don't bid. You know, we've already had people indicate, contract drivers indicate that they're not going to be bidding in 2027. Now that doesn't mean somebody else may not pick it up, but in anticipation of that, I've gone ahead and thrown it on there. None of this is set in stone, it's just our best guess of what we believe will need to happen. And it also builds in the increased cost of the buses. Any questions?
So again, this is an inform item. We'll vote at the next meeting to give permission to advertise. So next item is transfer of TJ Sport Leaders bus route.
Yes, I'm asking for permission to transfer one of TJ's Sport Leaders 403 route to Victoria Rusk, sorry. Risk, my gosh. Victoria Risk.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Travis, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Cheryl, any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Next is extra pay for short term.
Yes, this next section is about 4 routes that we decided to push out around the bypass to try to keep the congestion down at the Hayden Pike and Highway, or the old, or Walnut Street there. So it's going to be short term. It looks like they're on pace to finish where they're hoping to, hopefully maybe a little bit earlier if possible. So that's what this one has to do with, asking approval to do that.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Earl, do I have a second? Second by Pat, any discussion?
Has the transportation situation been working out pretty well?
It's been working. I mean, I don't wanna say, too much because I don't want it to go south, but it's been working.
It's definitely a challenge, and
It is.
I appreciate everybody's work, and even the community trying to stay away from that area. It's a very congested area, finding alternate routes.
And I gotta give kudos to both sheriff and city. They've been doing an
Yes,
excellent
absolutely.
job of trying to be there in the morning. City's been there every morning, I believe. Chief Messer was there the first 3 days, trying to make sure everything's as smooth as possible.
That's good.
Very good, good. So I have a motion and I have a second. So hearing no other discussion, all those in favor? 7-0. Extra pay for long-term, 2023-2027 contract.
Yes, this has to do with when we did the 2023-2027 contract bus drivers, we threw an incentive out there for bus drivers that would get a newer bus. The concept of that was, you know, if they can get a newer bus, the kids are safer, so it's worth it from that standpoint. And if they get a newer bus, the odds of them wanting to route 2027 to 2031 would increase. And these are, we have about, I think there was a total of 9 that did find a 2016 or newer buses, so those are nice and safe for the kids. They didn't have to, but they did. So that's what this is for.
Okay, so asking for approval. Do I have a motion? Motion by Travis, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mary Lynn, any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Next down under relations, Todd, looks like we have an MOU that needs addressed.
Yes, so asking for approval to cancel our MOUs with Scott County 2, South Harrison, and South Central Area Special Education Co-op to provide services for hearing impaired students.
Okay.
Asking to approval to cancel those MOUs.
Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Pat, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Cheryl, any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. And then another agreement.
Yep, so now asking for permission to get into an agreement with Peggy Summer to provide services for our deaf hard hearing students in Jennings County.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mary Lynn, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Travis, any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Which brings us down under other. Nothing. Hearing nothing, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Pat, do I have a second? Second by Chelsea, all those in favor? 7-0. Meeting adjourned.